Okay, I know I said they're all special, but I have to admit that two of my sheep are the most special.
Hello my dear viewer and welcome to a new episode on what's pissing me off this week. Well, first of all, the fucking heat. Like, I know it's Europe and we like to take immigrants, but can we please don't take the goddamn weather with them?
Freeze! I'm thirsty.
Like, I like it when it's a bit hot, obviously, like everybody else. But damn, the sun is not forbidden. Like, look at my face now. And look at my face like in the first video, like two goddamn different races right there. But that's not the point of the video. The second thing that messes with me, it's Hollywood. And how Hollywood likes to label shit that they don't understand. For example, live action family movies. So, I don't know how many diplomas you have, but you might notice the lack of animation in the live action family movie. For some reason Hollywood keeps messing this up and it's driving me crazy because I'm trying my best to look for animated news and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, boom, a live action family movie that's labeled as animation. But Oscars, look at the goddamn Oscars. To be nominated for the animated category at the Oscars, you need to be at least 90% animated. This is exactly why Paddington 2 didn't get the award that year, in which it was, I forgot, 2017-18. This is not about Paddington 2, but going back, just because I hate this thing that the Hollywood does by combining genres, because animation apparently just means family movie and family movie just means animation. I love a lot of live action family movies, like for example Paddington, because I mentioned Paddington in the past. It's perfect, in my opinion, it's a perfect family movie. It's charming, it's also deep, and at the end of the day, it's a movie that you can enjoy both as a parent and as a kid. Perfect family movie. But for every single family movie like Paddington, there is hope. There is Smurfs 2011. There's Harold and the Purple Crayon. There are movies that don't understand the core of the franchises they are adapting, or the book, or whatever. They just think, oh, kids book, let's make funny jokes, let's make Smurfs twerk. So, when I saw this movie called Detective Ship, I was pretty skeptical. Like, everybody should be.
Exactly. Don't you see?
When I saw that the director of this movie is Kyle Balda, for those of you who don't know who Kyle Balda is, well, he's known for working on Despicable Me franchise and also Minions, so not the best track record if you ask me, because as you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Illumination. I quite frank hate them. But Hugh Jackman is in this movie, and that's a good actor that mostly chooses good roles. So now I'm conflicted, because on one hand we have Balda, but on the other hand we have Hugh. Who's gonna tilt the scale? Well, my guy, there's one more person I forgot to mention, and that person is...
What have they done? Look at that glow! It's not through Röntgen. That's radiation ionizing the air. It's 15,000.
Craig Mazin. For those of you who don't know who Craig Mazin is, he's the mastermind behind Chernobyl and The Last of Us. The man who specialized in existential dread and human tragedy was writing a movie about talking ship. Naturally, the balance has chosen a side. Right out of the gate, the movie starts extremely charming, which is gonna be extremely hard for me to take in because I expect this movie to be shit. So why is this movie quite enjoyable so far? Which is just like the first 10 seconds of the movie, but I like it. The music is good, the cinematography, it's quite frankly nice to look at, and also the CGI, it's top notch, like really good. But this is just, you know, the package. What's in it makes the difference. So as every good movie should start, we get a sneak peek at the main characters, and also the rules of the world. Starting with our main character, George, a gentle shepherd who actually respects his flock and sees them for the intelligent creatures that they are. And also for the flock, we have Lily, our main sheep, obviously one of the smarter ones, but it's still a sheep at the end of the day. Mopple, the sheep who literally cannot forget a single thing. This doesn't make sense right now, but it will make sense later. And also we have Sebastian, the lonely outsider. And also there's another character who will be very important to the story, the winter lamp, or the winter sheep. I don't know when the lamb becomes a sheep. I'm not a sheep biologist, sorry. But also, our brother George right here has a very specific hobby. He likes to read stories, not any type of stories, but true crime stories to his sheep. Yeah, somebody should check on this George guy, because I have a feeling he's sniffing a little bit too much blue powder, if you know what I mean.
You're telling me that blue goop he was always mixing up, that was medicine?
He sold the patent to a large agricultural corporation for the sum of
30 million.
But also, Craig Mazin inserts two incredibly specific world-building rules that you know are going to pay off later. First of all, sheep can actively choose to erase their memories at any time. And also, the flock absolutely despise winter sheep. So, the rules are quite simple. You can choose to erase any of your memories, and also you are racist. So pretty much you are just a regular American citizen.
Me or this white rock right here? Be honest, don't lie to me.
The rock, it serves a purpose.
So from here we transit into the human world, where we get Tim, a clumsy, foolish police officer, also Elliot, a young reporter desperate for a scoop, and Rebecca, George's estranged daughter. So far so good, everything is easy to understand, beautifully packaged, you have the jokes, the rules, the characters, everything put together. Perfect, I love it. But the movie does something that makes me think, okay, something is gonna be deeper. Because at one point in the movie, at the beginning of the movie obviously, the sheep are talking about death. And because sheep can erase their own memories, they don't know how death actually feels like. The only one that knows, it's Mopple.
For some reason, I can't remember what it was like when my parents turned into clouds. Mopple, you remember everything. That day must have been wonderful, right?
Lily asks Mopple, how is death? And Mopple does something extremely intelligent, because he knows how death really is. He decides to lie. And ladies and gentlemen, here we have the noble lie. Again, I don't know why I keep hitting myself of this concept of noble lie. I also talked about it in the Small Food video, also check that one out.
Protect the lie and you protect the village.
The character, because it knows the sheep will decide to forget anyway, it lies that once a sheep dies, it goes and becomes a cloud. And in the clouds it's just a sheep, but in the clouds it's just pretty much a transit if you sit and think about it. But I really like how the movie explains this, because first of all it's extremely intelligent, and second of all it reminds me of this little movie.
1 minute you're alive, and then just like that, it's all gone. An eternity of nothingness.
Listen carefully. You're wrong about what happens after you die. It's not an eternity of nothingness. You go to your favourite place in the whole world. Yeah. And everyone you've ever loved and who's ever loved you will be there. And you'll be young again. You can run and jump like you used to, and dance. You used to dance.
And in that movie, I will not get into it too deep, is this scene where Ricky Gervais' character decides to lie to his mother about heaven, you know, pretty much giving birth to religion, because he sees her dying, and to make the things a little bit better, he says that when she dies, there's a beautiful place.
Say hello to Dad for me.
And pretty much, this movie did the same thing, but from the perspective of a sheep, which, to be honest, touche.
They said goodbye and joyously floated off into the sky, becoming two beautiful fluffy clouds looking down upon us all.
And then, there's the next morning. Mopples wake up, goes outside the barn, and sees George's body.
Lily?
Mopple, when he gets there, Lily is already there, looking at the body and being like, We are playing a game. And in my head, this is the moment the movie pretty much becomes what I expect it to be from the very start. Just a comic movie that tries to be deep here and there, but at the end of the day is just dumb ship doing dumb stuff. I was so ready to see that ship starting to twerk. But then the movie goes into this dialogue between the ship about mortality and forgetting, and who is in to save the day but Sebastian.
George is gone. He's never coming back.
But George was our shepherd. What will we do?
Yes, you're the smartest sheep in the world, Lily. Tell us what to do.
There's only one thing we can do. We have to forget George.
What? But Lily, it's George. We can't just move.
Remembering him hurts too much. I can't do it.
She's right. Sheep are not meant to feel such things. We must choose to forget.
On the count of 3.
But hold on. Don't.
1.
No, please don't. It's George.
2.
You'll forget nothing.
Sebastian.
It's too painful to bear. And we're going to forget.
No, you won't. You'll remember him because it's right. Because it's just.
Lily sees this as too painful. Grief, it's a very painful thing, and she can't take it. She can't take it. And MOPPLE is like, you can't forget George. He really loved you. And not like a regular shepherd, but like a family member. And then Sebastian comes in. And Sebastian, it's gonna be a very important character, but this monologue builds him as somebody that knows what grief really feels like. And he is the one changing Lily's mind about forgetting all of this, because he says that it's not just to forget somebody who truly loved you. And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, this movie is called The Detective Ship. Why am I tearing up? Why do I care so much? Why am I so invested in this? And the movie works on this balance, doing serious stuff and comedy so well, because you know, there's a lot of baggage to put on a family movie that somebody at home is gonna watch with their kids. So the movie puts in these jokes, but these jokes are not obnoxious. Those jokes are pretty much just in there to light the mood. It's like drinking coffee but with milk, or in my case, drinking milk with some coffee. I don't really like coffee. I don't know why I'm in this direction now, but the important thing is that this monologue, which is a dialogue in a way, it's very emotional, and Lily putting her head on the hand of George's body made me like, okay, should I prepare my heart? Is this just the start? Are things going to get worse? Things are going to get worse. Spoiler. Much worse, actually.
You're not supposed to be here.
So before we move forward, Sebastian says this.
The good should not be harmed by the bad. The weak should not be harmed by the strong. And a friend should never be forgotten.
So we are in the chapter 2. You know, I will not speak a lot about the human stuff. And even though the human stuff is extremely good, I don't want to spoil a lot of that. I will talk mostly about Tim, because Tim is an extremely important character, also Rebecca and Elliot. I will talk about them, but the rest of the humans, even though they are extremely important through the story, I don't want to spoil everything. I want to let some mystery for you to discover by yourself. I'll mostly talk about the ship, but talking a little bit about the humans, Tim starts pretty much as dumb as a rock. He doesn't even like look inside the place where the crime happened. Like, he's that level of dumb. But I think it's intentional, because Tim, in my opinion, he is secretly the most important human character, and all of that because he is pretty much the mirror image of a sheep. Throughout the film, the sheep constantly complain how they are dumb and cowardly, and Tim feels exactly the same way about himself. By pairing them conceptually, this movie allows both Tim and the flock to overcome their anxiety and grow together. Going from Tim, there is this scene in the movie where Lily and MOPPLE are meeting the road for the first time. You know, they've only known the field, and now they meet the road. And the expressions they have, it's so funny and also so expressive that made me think, what the fuck was Disney doing all this time?
We're not scared.
Mopple, what is that?
I think it's a road.
But what is it made of?
Well, not grass, I can tell you that.
I've been watching this Disney slop for so long, and at one point I was like, okay, maybe you just can make CGI characters expressive. And then I saw this. And I was like, okay, now the CGI was the problem. Disney was the goddamn problem, because look at those sheep. Look how expressive they are. And look how they move together, because friendship is magic and sometimes you need somebody to cross the road. You can't do everything alone. So at one point, Sebastian tries to explain the concept of God to Lily from what he gathered here and there from listening to the humans. And watching farm animals debate theology and the universe is both hilariously absurd and incredibly smart.
God is a big invisible land beaver made of bread?
Yes, and they eat him on Sundays.
Poor God.
Also, at the beginning of the movie, George interacts with a lot of these suspects, so the movie, it's planting the seeds for something to grow. I just don't want to put a lot of water on those seeds, because I think one of the most important parts of this movie are actually the sheep and how they grow. So we have the whole scene with the house, the money, $30 million for medicine, for sheep. MOPPLE tries to find a window, gets into some trouble, goes around, destroys some stuff. Humans are like, oh no, put the sheep out. And the sheep are pretty much getting nothing, because what you're gonna do, arrest some sheep, even though I see Tim doing that, because also I heard Tim saying this.
This is your first murder, isn't it?
What? You think I killed him?
Oh my God, bro.
So yeah, I'm 100% sure Tim would have put some cuffs on those sheep. I don't know why he didn't do it. It would have been very funny, but moving on. So chapter 3 rolls around and Elio and Tim become this team. I mean, I understand why, because Tim is an idiot and Elio doesn't have access to police, like, investigation skills or whatever. But, you know, as I said, none of that it's important to what I'm trying to say. What is though important are the sheep, because the sheep are back to the house, place, whatever, the field. And I love it how this movie, it knows very damn well it carries a baggage of emotional stuff. So from time to time it uses the many sheep it introduced for jokes and for small tasks here and there for everybody to be important in a way. And I like it. I really like it how the movie balances all of these characters for them to be important. And there are all of these small shenanigans here and there. For example, when they use one of the sheep, like the only sheep that can see, to find a book. That was like pretty funny. And I like how Lily realized pretty damn fast that Tim, it's not gonna do shit by himself. And also I like how Tim realizes that the sheep are involved in some kind of way, but like he accepts it. He's weirded out about it, but he accepts it, like how most people just accept the sheep doing all of this stuff. It's quite funny in retrospective.
Oh, I hope you're hungry, Tim. Are we? Hello?
Every time something interesting happens with this case, there they are.
You've lost it.
Sebastian started as a baby sheep in the circus. Everybody was like feeding, touching, taking pictures. He was loved. But unfortunately, once you grow up, things are very different. And as a sheep, you are either meat or put to fight for some rich guys from Birmingham or whatever. Luckily, George was there to save Sebastian. And this is how Sebastian became part of the flock. But he was always an outsider. You know why? Because he was a winter sheep.
So you were a winter...
Sooner or later, a winter lamb wants to leave.
And I love so much the fact that he's also a black sheep, which, of course, he's an outsider. He's black, but I like to see beyond the colors. But it made sense because the sheep are, as I mentioned, pretty racist to winter sheep or black sheep.
Or sheep! He's talking about you.
Is that this scene puts into perspective a very real problem, like animal abuse. And Lily finds, because of one of the sheep called Cloud, which, if I sit and think in retrospective, George called one of the sheep Cloud, and the sheep become a cloud when they are dead, so pretty much it's like calling a human ghost. I'm overthinking this, don't mind me, it's late. But Lily, because of Cloud, finds a bracelet, which means that Rebecca was there in the night of the murder. And now, ladies and gentlemen, because we didn't have enough monologues from Sebastian, here comes my favorite one. Because Lily, it's pretty damn sure this is the end. Rebecca is the killer, and the proof, it's right there and there. But the small cub, the winter sheep, is like, no, she's not. She's good. And Lily is like, shut the fuck up, you are black. But then Sebastian comes, and he has another great monologue about how close-minded and pretty much racist the sheep are. And it looks in the eyes of this pure little sheep and says, when enough people tell you that you don't deserve love and you're not good enough, you start to believe it.
Haven't you heard? No one wants you. You deserve nothing. That's what a winter lamb hears over and over until one day he starts to believe it's true.
Sebastian.
She didn't do it.
But how do you know?
Because I looked in her eyes. Because it's obvious. But not to you. No. Not to some flock of sheep.
And my heart was hit again, because that's a very mature, important and real thing to say. This movie hit me with the noble eye, with forgetting, and now with pretty much putting pressure on somebody to be something that they are not. And all of that, keep in mind, the flock hates the small little sheep because it was born in winter. The lamb didn't do nothing. It's just hated because it was born. Like, oh no, your parents fucked in September. You're a demon. And I like it how Sebastian says this.
Because she happened to be born in winter. The worst crime imaginable.
Obvious. Why am I so invested in this movie and in these characters? Lily decides to pretty much go with what she feels, and she goes, take the hat of Tim and brings it to the field. Again, thinking in retrospective, Tim just followed a sheep for what, 10-15 kilometers to a field? Like, my guy, you have all of my respect. If any animal would steal my hat, I will not follow that animal for more than 10 meters. Especially not to a field in the middle of goddamn nowhere. So Tim, you get my respects on that one. Also, Tim, you get my respects for reading the book that Lily gave you. Because after he gets the book and he reads it, he actually starts to have a plan, and when he investigates the people, it does a good job, which again, good job Tim for, growing as a character. It's actually quite nice to see, because Tim wants to grow, like, he read the book, he followed the sheep, and he's growing as a character. No way.
Thank you all.
Now that Lily and MOPPLE are pretty much aware that Rebecca was the criminal, spoiler, she wasn't the criminal, and now they have free will and they can roam around, they decide to go and visit the flock, like next door or whatever. And the movie that so far had this charming countryside vibe suddenly just became a horror. And my guy, I loved it so much. Like, by this part of the movie, I was in with the movie. The movie could have taken me anywhere and I would have been like, my guy, you first, I'm right behind you. I don't know where we are going, but oh no, we are going there. Let me think about it, because this movie turns 108 degrees and all of a sudden becomes a horror. Like for that scene in the neighboring flock, things are pretty damn scary. Like when the French ship appeared and they start to speak in French, I was pretty goddamn scared. Not because of the French. Je parle français très bien parce que je travaille dans France. Sorry, it's I'm insane also. It wasn't full-on scary mode, but I was on the edge of my seat thinking this movie could go in any direction and I wouldn't be surprised because, again, it was written by the guy that wrote Chernobyl, so, you know, an atomic bomb wasn't out of the question yet. So the French ship tells Lily to cour, to run, and she sees like a light bulb. She goes there. Well, she learns the hard truth. Some shepherds out there raise sheep for meat, something that MOPPLE knew, but decided not to say. When they realize all of that, and also they notice two dogs, they start running. And the dogs are almost catching up. The scene is getting intense. And look at that. Sebastian comes in and pretty much saves the day, but doesn't save the day just by magically appearing. He goes in and fights.
It means the good should not be harmed by the bad.
Why did you come back?
The weak should not be harmed by the strong. I had
Our flock.
you're my flock.
And he fights with everything he has. And the moment when he's up there, strong, hitting the ground, you know shit is serious. And once the dog left, all of that adrenaline is out, and Sebastian falls down.
Don't die. We turn into clouds. Turn into a cloud, Sebastian. Turn into a cloud.
I wish I could.
This is the first time Sebastian also says, our flock. Not your flock, but our. And my heart is in so many places, like they killed this guy who you might think, okay, you could see this from 1,000 miles. It doesn't matter. The movie did the structure so perfectly and planted, as I said, all of the seeds in such a way that this scene did what it was meant to do. Hit a grown-ass adult right in the middle of the chest. And I was like, okay, this can't be any worse. And then Lily runs to the flock, takes the flock, tries to guide them into the nature, but the second they saw the road are like, no, we can't. And Lily is like, come on, they will kill you. And the flock is like, no. And they choose to forget.
Stop it! Stop saying these awful things! I'm forgetting this happened. Right now.
No, you can't.
Why? Why would I want to remember something so terrible?
My heart at this point, completely broken, completely flattened. And then, after Lily says this,
Sebastian was right about us. We're just stupid, frightened sheep.
she turns around, looks at MOPPLE, and says this.
You've carried this all alone, all this time.
Yes, I remember every bad thing.
And then MOPPLE, which, keep in mind, MOPPLE so far was a very supportive person. He knew all the things that Sebastian did, but he was so loving about it, and he tried to help and lied to protect, while Sebastian just went by because he didn't felt part of this group. And the second he says, I remember everything, every single death, and every single friend, I was crying. I was full on crying, and I thought to myself, this can be. And then he says, but there are good parts about it. I remember my mom's face and all the friends that loved me.
But I remember good things too. I remember my mother's face. I remember old friends and how they loved me. And you will remember Sebastian.
It hurts. Remembering hurts.
I know. But if you forget, you can't save the others and Sebastian will have died for nothing. Caleb will come for you tomorrow and you'll follow your new shepherd just like the other stupid, frightened sheep. And we'll all die. I'm sorry, Lily, I am. But it's our memory that keeps the ones we love alive.
And somehow the positives actually affected me more than the negatives did, and I'm speechless. Honestly, speechless. The scene did immaculate. I felt everything, and more than I could ever imagine. So yeah, the question is very simple. Remembering it's painful, but isn't that the beauty of it? It's forgetting the solution. I mean, sure, remembering hurts, like Lily say, but it's also not about the things that landed, but the things that happened. And that's such a beautiful thing to say, because at the end of the day, this is what the movie is trying to say. The movie is trying to say that when somebody dies, you can only choose to forget or to remember, but both of them hurt in different ways.
I lost someone once. I know it hurts. But in time, all that's left is all that's good.
Are you really here?
Of course I am. Because you didn't forget me. See how that works?
And now are in the final chapter of the movie. Lily, it's confronted with the reality that being a sheep means being pretty much coward. But then the small winter sheep gives her an idea. So now we are back in the prison, where Lily tries to save Rebecca by sending in the small winter sheep. There's this painting on the ground, and Rebecca, just like Tim and just like everybody in the village, he just accepts that that's the reality in which they lived in. Tim comes in the next morning, sees the painting, asks Rebecca, what is this? She explains it, and Tim is like, yeah, no way. But in the back of his mind, he knows damn well there's plenty of ways. Tim takes Rebecca to give her to the police. Even though Tim is the police, I don't know what that exchange was, but then Tim looks at the sheep, sees the paint, sees his hand, and then he himself paints the picture. See what I did there? And I actually loved seeing the Tim character grew, because in most of these movies, the comic relief character, it's only that, the comic relief. It doesn't change, it doesn't grow, it stays the same, and it tells jokes. So seeing Tim evolving from the dumbass, which, let's be honest, even I was considering the IQ of that being the same level of a sheep, to him now being this actually capable detective, was actually a pleasant surprise. This movie in itself was a pleasant surprise.
But in fact, that is not true.
The movie ends with Rebecca taking not only the flock but the French flock also, and now having a very big flock of sheep, and reading how to raise a sheep to sheep, which don't know how much it will help the sheep, but it's a nice start. But that's not the real ending. The real ending is when Lily accepts the winter sheep, and not only that, but gives that winter sheep the name of George.
That's your name. Every sheep should have a name.
George.
Making this circle pretty much complete. And yeah, that's the movie. It broke me in so many ways, and it keeps breaking me, because right now, while sitting and saying all of this, I almost cried a few times. And also, I will take all of the videos and I will need to put them together, and I will be emotional yet again, because this movie is just a trauma that keeps traumatizing. But I love it. And I'm so extremely, and I'm still very shocked by the fact that Toy Story 5 and now Detective Ship are two movies that I saw pretty much head to head, and they both had such a strong motive behind them and such strong writing, because writing, it's what gives this movie like a direction. The director is also there to guide it, but the writer, it's the path. And I love it. I really truly love it. Can't recommend it enough. It's truly one of the best, up there with Paddington. I don't think it's better than Paddington because there are still lots of small stuff that I don't really know how to deal with, like the fact that the ship just do stuff and everybody's like, yeah, this happens, we accept it. And also all of the shenanigans that they do in the first part, some it's a hit, some it's a miss, but it's nothing horrible. It's just something that will adapt some points, because I'm still a critic at the end of the day. But also watch the movie, make your opinion, come here, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm right, tell me something, because I really need some friends. But thank you for watching. You're amazing, and you deserve everything.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down. Gonna stand